Hi, and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn, joined once again by my lovely wife, Margaret Quinn.
Hello.
And today we have a beer that is, I believe, the first time it has been released in bottles and distributed from our friends at Bear Republic. We've done shows on them in the past. We're actually out at their brew pub in wine country.
Yeah.
Healdsburg, California, and we met with Dan Hayes, one of their marketing dudes, I think, out there. Really nice guy. Took us around, showed us some of those fooders. Had some Super Fresh, Racer 5.
Yeah.
Really cool brewery.
And if you're interested in checking that one out, it's episode 123. You can find it on our website.
Who's counting?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it was a good episode. Cool time with Dan out there.
Yeah. So basically, Racer 5 is kind of their staple. They have a lot of beers named after race cars, I guess, and the guys are big into kind of racing. This one is no different. Cafe Racer 15, I think is what it's called. I guess Racer 5, Cafe Racer 15. I don't know if it's like 3 times as strong or something. It's not, but it is strong. 10% or just under 10% alcohol. Double IPA. First time they've bottled it, like I said. These used to be some very exclusive draft-only beers from Bear Republic, like Racer X, Black Racer, I think there was, and then this Cafe Racer. I've never had this beer. We actually got it out in Pennsylvania, so I have to talk to Dan about why we don't get this here in Chicago. It came pretty highly recommended. I cannot see when it was bottled, because even as I'm touching it now, the ink just wore off on my fingers. But I think the beer had been on shelves for like 3 days when they got it in PA. That was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So we're looking at, within the first month of life, hopefully.
Yeah.
Certainly quite fresh. So, big double IPA using the popular hops of the moment. So it's got Citra, Amarillo, Chinook, Cascade. I can smell it already.
Oh my God, it smells like grapefruit that you just cut open or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it should be a fun one to try. Pour you some here.
Yeah.
And some here. And So, thoughts?
Yeah. So definitely, it has that pale orange color, kind of
Really
glowing
orange,
in the glass there. Yeah.
A little hazy. Mm-hmm. Tiny little bit of head. Not too much. A pretty, finite amount of head, and it's not really sticking around. Could be something from the alcohol in there. A lot of times bigger bodied beers have hard time retaining the head retention. Mm-hmm. The alcohol in the beer, I think, kind of just reduces some of the surface tension.
Yeah, it's definitely get all those citrus smells, I guess, aromas on the nose.
Citrus smells.
Citrus and the pininess, and then I do get like some sweetness in it too. I think like a mandarin orange type thing almost.
Yeah, I think mandarin orange is almost the ones you get that are canned. You know how you can buy those canned mandarin oranges? Those that you usually the ones which I think are the same thing. The mandarin oranges that you see on salad bars.
Yeah, canned.
Those
kind of candy.
So kind of highly citrusy, but also a little bit sweeter.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of like fresh pine as well. Not really earthy, but I guess the citrus coming across, I usually get like a distinct kind of mango tropical thing. I think with all the other Amarillo and Chinook and Cascade in there, maybe it's kind of getting toned down into the mandarin orange.
Yeah.
Man, it's really kind of it's really kind of growing on me, the nose here.
It's kind of getting like a lemon lime thing going on the nose too.
Yeah.
Almost like a Sprite or like a Fresca.
Or I'm getting some of that kind of pixie sticks things, some of those like sweet and sour. Bigger malt body than I would have thought.
Yeah, and it's got a pretty heavy mouthfeel. I think not like really chewy, but it's definitely a very full beer.
There's some malt here for sure. It comes across as kind of like an orangey, biscuity quality to it.
A lot of bitterness. A lot of bitterness, and a lot of the hop taste as well.
Yeah, kind of the ones where you feel the hops kind of gripping your teeth. Yeah, it's nice. I think it's it's big, well made. I'd like to see what this tastes like when it warms up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm kind of overwhelmed by the bitterness of it.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly, as it's in your mouth, I think some of the sweetness kind of tames the bitterness. You also have a lot of that hop flavor as well, but as soon as you swallow it, the bitter is just kind of like, all right, it's just me now. And let's kind of mess around with your palate a little bit.
It stays there on the tongue for a while. So, yeah.
And it grows. A solid beer. I mean, I wouldn't say this isn't like many other big double IPAs with the usual suspect hops there. Bear Republic kind of has been known, for me anyway, their IPAs as having balance. And this one certainly, for a big, huge, out of balance double IPA, is balanced in a way. It's got the big, huge hop aroma, but it's got just as big hop bitterness there as well, and plenty of malt. I think my favorite thing about it is probably the aroma. There's also maybe a little bit of heat there too. I mean, you can tell that this is a hefty beer.
Yeah, totally. I agree with you as far as I think I like the nose of it better than the taste.
Yeah, and it does end with that same kind of mandarin orange finish to it. I like this beer. It might need some kind of fatty foods to kind of tame that bitterness a little bit. It might make it a little bit more drinkable. Not something you would necessarily just want to drink on its own.
Yeah, I agree.
Certainly couldn't have. I think splitting a bottle would be about as much as someone would want to do. You can't really go back for a second without some food there to kind of break it up. That said, well-made beer. It's definitely up there in like the 90s for me, like a 90 I'd give it. There's nothing wrong with it. I think no fault of its own. There's just a lot of beers like this out there right now.
Right.
And in these days, I think, like we were saying, I don't know, show me something different. Which is why I kind of like some of those, like the spruce juice was so interesting to me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, it's a 90. That doesn't mean it's not exceptionally well made. It's not, nice and clean and have everything you want there. It's just, this is a special release when there's stuff like this kind of out in year round that I can get that is comparable to it.
I agree with that assessment. I think, and I also I agree with the 90. I think that's just about right.
So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed our. I hope it's not lackluster. I think you can kind of see our emotion is in tune with what we're kind of saying. It doesn't really wow us. Doesn't mean we don't like the beer. This isn't necessarily one that I wouldn't order anyway, but there you go. 90 is a good score. The Cafe Racer 15 from Bear Republic. Guys, thank you so much. Somebody was just calling my cell phone. Now they're calling the store. I guarantee it. So I think that's probably time for us to go.
Yep, wrap it up.
Thanks, guys, so much. We've got some big double IPA to drink, and hopefully you do too. I will after I answer this call.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Hello, Beer Temple.